This isn't our 11th one or anything. I don't know when it goes live because I've never done this before.
Honestly, right now, if I could, I would love to come over there, rip off your legs, and just start slapping you in the face with them, just over and over again. Like, you know how people can like punch a bag like this, and they're like, I want to do that with your legs on your face.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome to It's Just Brunch. Um, Today, we should have like an applause thing. Yay!
Yay!
Um, Today we're over brunch. We're going to talk about Amazon.com and Hachette Book Group, which is actually one of the largest publishers in the world, even though you may not have heard of them. Right now, they're renegotiating their contract with Amazon. And I'm sure there's a lot of parts of that contract, but a big part that, at least for Amazon, is the revenue split that the two companies have for ebooks. It's kind of a big deal because obviously ebooks are becoming a bigger part of the publishing market, and Amazon is the biggest seller of ebooks. So everybody has interest in this. So Amazon is asking for a bigger split of that revenue pie, and Hachette is saying no. And in the meantime, while those negotiations are going on, Amazon is playing a little hardball by making it harder and harder for Amazon customers to buy books that Hachette publishes in the U.S. So Amazon's doing all these shady things. They're reducing the discounts on their Hachette books, meaning that those prices go up. They're actually suggesting on some Hachette books other books that readers might be more interested in. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of kind of strong arm, kind of real, I don't know, bullying, the kind of thing that you would expect from a large corporate monopoly. So it's problematic in a lot of ways. But there's good news, is that the three of us have come up with our response to this entire debacle, which is causing so many people so many headaches. You don't even have to pay us, but you can. Here's the solution to this whole thing. Voila. Take it away.
I think that websites should now start hosting their own format of the books. PDF is not going to translate to a Kindle. Something that's going to be able to translate to Kindle, Nooks, to all of that. Something like with Bandcamp or SoundCloud, that you can buy albums on these sites, and you buy them in the MP3 format, MP4 format, all these different formats, but you don't need iTunes, but you can play them on iTunes, or you can play them on Amazon Cloud Players. That I think that's probably kind of the next step, is that if a publisher is able to find a way to, I'm sure Amazon has probably fucked Kindles completely, that you cannot, do anything with them, because I know I'm reading a manuscript by a friend, and it's a PDF, and when you open the PDF, it's fine, but when you close it, you have to start back at the beginning, and that's not practical for reading. So I think that they're going to have to figure out to be translatable to these things, and then they'll be able to sell on their website, probably for cheaper. Even if it was $7, the publisher and the authors are going to get more money. And so that's my, it seems obvious solution. But I don't know.
Basically,
what do you think?
It's a way for the publishers to bypass Amazon and not give all the power of selling books to one company, which creates a monopoly, which creates problems
like this.
Right. Like this.
No, I think it's really cool, and yeah, I hadn't thought about the fact that there isn't really a standard e-reading copy. It's PDF, or it's something specifically for a specific platform.
Right.
And if someone comes up with the way to do that and creates, the MP3 of ebooks, that's huge. And yeah, that could put publishing back into the hands of the writers.
Right.
Which is awesome. For me, I wasn't really thinking about a solution, but I was thinking about the way that this situation is affecting other big box stores and also independent booksellers. And I was reading today that Barnes & Noble and Walmart are cleaning up on this situation. They're marking down their Hachette books and running specials and things like that. So they're both doing well because Amazon is pretty much saying, we don't really care if we lose that much business because we're like the Godzilla of online book ordering. So F you, go to Barnes & Noble, no one gives a shit. Because most people don't know anything about this. Most people aren't paying attention. But the really cool thing is that there's an independent bookstore, I believe it's in Washington State, that is offering to hand deliver Hachette books to their customers if they order through them. So independent booksellers are really using this to try and get a leg up and hopefully bring clients back to them with that personal customer service. Because what this shows you is that, yeah, Amazon's super convenient, but they're dicks.
Right.
You know, they're still a corporation, and you're still giving your money to people who will screw over, you know, a publishing house just for a bigger piece of the pie, of which they already own most. So,
right.
I mean, I think this is a great chance, if people know about this, to rededicate themselves to independent booksellers and, you know, to take the extra couple of days and just order a book through them. It doesn't take that much longer, and, you know, maybe this is what needs to happen for us to start going into our local bookstores again, you know, and you have to vote with your money these days, especially with corporations. So if Amazon's going to say, we don't care about you, we don't care about the writers, we don't care about the authors, we don't care about the publishing houses, well, it's time for us to say we don't care about Amazon and start, you know, building our communities again instead of just doing everything over the computer.
And I think that's actually maybe the one silver lining to come out of all of this is that, yeah, now this is an opportunity for smaller retailers like your independent bookstore or even Barnes & Noble, which, you know, is a corporation, but it's a corporation that's seeing, you know, it's in dire straits right now. Anyway, it's an opportunity for them to play on a more level playing field with, you know, this giant retailer that has the huge advantage of not caring if it makes money.
Right.
That's the weird thing about Amazon.
Yeah, but we can hit them hard enough that they will care.
Yeah,
So.
well, I think, Kate, you hit on the point that I was thinking of, which is that, you know, this has gotten a lot of play in you know, it's on New York Times and in Publishers Weekly and so on, but it's not something that a lot of, you know, I would say everyday Americans are really thinking about or even aware of. And part of that is the problem to me. The dispute between Hachette and Amazon is about getting a bigger piece of the pie, but a pie that's kind of small, because Amazon particularly wants to keep the price of ebooks under $10, which, you know, I think a lot of consumers say, great, you know, I don't want to pay too much money for a book. But, you know, when you say that kind of thing, you're saying that you don't ascribe a lot of value to literature. You know, it's okay for you to pay $6 for a cup of coffee. I don't even know what it costs these days, but let's use some kind of analogy. You know, the fact is, if you compare what you spend on other things to what you think is fair to spend on a book, it shows that a lot of people in society don't really ascribe much value to books, and that's part of the problem. So, yes, we love literature, but, you know, the fact is, at the end of the day, it is a business, and authors would love to make some money, and their publishers would love to make some money, and yeah, you know, the booksellers, even Amazon, would love to make some money. But it's if the pie that they're all trying to carve out is getting smaller and smaller because, one, people are buying fewer books, and two, they don't want to spend that much money per book anyway, then you're going to have these kind of fights where, you know, these two big corporations, and the fact is, Hachette is not like a small corporation. They're one of the biggest publishers in the world. But they're both fighting out over these royalties, the share of book sales. You know, and obviously, you know, the author's not going to win in this, right? Hachette's not going to be like, great, we got more money, here you go, authors. So I feel like, you know, a lot of this could be a wake-up call to people just in general to think about how we value books. You know,
Well,
they do so much for us in terms of storytelling and imagination, but we don't want to spend money on them. And the fact is, if we don't spend money on them, a lot of people suffer.
Yeah, books are worth it. Books are worth the drive. Books are worth
absolutely.
the extra money. Books are worth leaning over a counter and asking someone who works there to order you a book.
Maybe this is a chance for independent booksellers to start using online, selling these books online and doing kind of a similar service as Amazon doing, their independent booksellers only doing a certain radius unless, whatever. But I mean, maybe there's an uprise for that because if I ordered a book and it was through the independent bookseller or Amazon, it was going to take 3 extra days for the independent bookseller. I'm going to go with the independent bookseller.
There you have it. There's a lot for people to think about. At long last, the It's Just Brunch take on Amazon/Hachette.
Yes, you're welcome. Have a good week, everybody. Check out our posts on the blog as usual. Share us with your friends, your family, whoever.
God, share us.
Please, God.
Please, God.
Yeah, we're starting to sound desperate, but
I don't care.
I'm sorry. I looked at our blog today, and there's a lot of cool shit on there.
A lot of cool shit.
And if you know writers, if you love writers, please share it with them. And yeah, we will see you next weekend on It's Just Brunch, and I will be live from Europe. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll figure it out.
It's going to work.
Gonna work. I don't know where I'll be or what time of day it's going to be, but I will see your shining faces next week.
That's great. God, that's so great.
All right, everybody. Nice seeing you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.